On June 11th, a stadium in Mexico City will open its gates and host the first match of the World Cup. It has done this before, and the things it has witnessed across 60 years read less like a sports record and more like a ghost story. A genius who cheated the world in the 4 minutes. The greatest team that ever lived. A city in ruins. And a piece of gold that vanished forever. This is the secret history of the Estadio Azteca.
Opened in 1966, carved into the volcanic rock. Swallow more than 100,000 people. More than 2,000 meters above the sea. The air is thin. Lungs burning, legs heavy. Their first opponent is the air itself. Its first World Cup came in 1970, and it gave the world the greatest team that ever lived, led by Pelé. They won the tournament inside these very walls. But its most legendary night wasn't the final. It was a semi-final, the game of the century. Italy against West Germany, with so many goals in extra time that it earned a name still carved into a marble plaque to this day. And when Brazil won, they were allowed to keep the trophy, the original Jules Rimet Cup, forever. Years later, that very trophy would be stolen and never seen again. "16 years later, the Azteca hosted its second World Cup. And in a single quarter-final, it staged the holiest and most notorious moments football has ever seen, both from the same man. First, the crime. He punched the ball into the net with his hand, in front of the entire world, and got away with it. He called it the hand of God. Then, barely 4 minutes later, the miracle. He collected the ball in his own half, and danced past half a team to score. Cheat and genius. Devil and saint. 4 minutes apart. Argentina would go on to win the final here too, making the Azteca the first stadium on Earth to host 2 World Cup finals. But beneath the glory, there's a darker file. 8 months before that 1986 tournament, on the morning of September 19, 1985, a massive earthquake tore through Mexico City. Buildings folded. Whole neighborhoods vanished. The death toll is still debated, but it ran into the thousands. The country was in mourning, and in ruins. And it was supposed to host the world. There were calls to cancel. But Mexico went ahead, and the Azteca opened its gates while the city around it was still pulling itself out of the rubble. So when you watch the 1986 highlights, remember what they were built on top of. A nation playing through its own grief. Which brings us back to June 11, 2026. When the opening match kicks off, the Estadio Azteca will do something no stadium has ever done: host matches at a third World Cup. No other ground on earth carries this much history. The greatest team, the greatest goal, the greatest scandal, a city's tragedy, and a trophy lost to time. So whatever happens when those gates open again, it won't be the beginning of the story. It'll be the next page in a file that's already 6 decades deep.